It's Madden NFL 22, where division rivals will clash in the NFC North. It's the Bears and the Vikings, coming up next.
A very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at US Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Chicago Bears. With my good friend Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we have arrived at another new season. Had a little more pep in my step this morning. I know you did as well. Here we go.
Yeah, when you went out for your 5-mile jog, you were flying. You did it in record time because you were psyched up about this game. But let's be frank about it. No more radio shows, no more podcasts, no more just predicting what's going to happen. Now we get to see it on the field.
Get strapped in. It's just about time to get the party started. And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Under center for the Vikings, out comes the former Michigan State Spartan and longtime veteran Kirk Cousins.
Not bad for a fourth-round draft pick. Well over 100 career starts now. And the chemistry with his top targets, really on point. They spend a lot of time in practice and after practice making sure the routes are run well, and he knows exactly where they're going to be on the field. And when they get open, he delivers.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he'll push forward for about 4 up to the 23.
End result of that one, a nice 4-yard gain. So you can use that to set up your play-action game, or you can come right back and continue to run the football because as an offensive play caller, you're on schedule and feeling pretty good about your next couple of calls.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Cousins. And that's complete to K.J. Osborne.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Cousins gives way to Cook. Taken down right around the 34 after a pickup of only a yard. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Left side, Cook. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation. Now Cousins. And that is incomplete.
And 3rd down is a key down in any game you play. And 3rd down defense, something we've got to watch in this one. be effective on the passing downs. That's a pretty good first step right there.
The Vikings send out their punter. Back deep, Jakeem Grant. A 40-yard punt, no return, and the Bears take over. So now we'll get a look at the other offensive unit as they come out for their first possession. They'll be led out by a first-round pick back in 2021 from Ohio State. It's Justin Fields.
Coming out of Ohio State, one of the top prospects in the NFL draft, and it was so big that they moved up in the draft to get him, to make sure that they had him. And, boys, he got the full package. Loves the game. Big-time arm, 4.4 speed, so good that another quarterback prospect said to him, "What's it feel like to run 4.4? Everybody wants to be that fast."
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. Handoff comes to Montgomery. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45.
Something to watch here in week 1 of the season, tackling. Because you and I both know that in the preseason, a lot of these guys don't play a whole lot. Plus, the intensity and the speed really ratchets up on opening week.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Here's Fields. And the hook up here to Allen Robinson. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45.
Well, from their point of view, this game could not be starting out much better, could it? Force a punt on defense, and now they're moving it crisply on offense.
Crisply, I like that. Yeah, moving it very, very well. Looks like the defense on their heels a little bit. You put a score in here, long way to go, but you're right, that's a heck of a start.
Yeah, and I think this is where the play caller is looking at his play sheet and saying, grab that dagger play, grab that play and just finish them off right now, because I think they'd love to gain that big advantage early.
Still 9 remaining on 2nd down. Fields. Oh, that'll be incomplete. He took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap, and he locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
The line to gain is the 33 on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Fields. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. So the completion results there in 9 yards, and it'll be 4th down. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. Well, all offseason, probably a lot of thought goes into that first drive of week 1. They didn't get the touchdown, but at least they got something.
And what I like about it is that they didn't overthink it, because you're exactly right. A lot goes into the offseason, the preseason, to get to that first drive of the regular season. They went right downfield, mission accomplished, points on the board.
The Vikings taking the field here for their 2nd drive of the game. And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
6 yards left on 2nd down. Give to Cook out of the gun. A very good move, but for a short gain out near the 32. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that.
And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. It's Khalil Mack that time, shooting in there to get him to the ground.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack, and that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
The Vikings send out their punter as he'll kick it away for the second time. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. They finished off their opening drive of the campaign with a field goal on the last drive. Now they'll search for a touchdown here on this go-around. 1st and 10. Here's Fields. And this is taken in by Darnell Mooney. 7 yards, the pickup there.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On second down, Montgomery. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Defensively, we always know that he is tough in run support, and I think the way that he gets there is he understands what an offense is going to do before the ball's even snapped. A great job of scouting prior to the game, then reading, reacting, and taking the right path to the ball carrier.
And he's got enough for the first across midfield to the 48.
3rd and 1, who are you going to call? Not the scat back. You go with the big man. Hand him the ball and let him get upfield and pick up a first down.
Fields on 1st down. Open man is Kmet, the tight end. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Well, that's always a good place to throw it just because he's one of the biggest targets not only on this team but in the National Football League.
And you and I both know the quarterbacks love these large-bodied tight ends, and why not? Nowadays, they're really wide receivers who are just taller and have a little bit more weight. These guys catch the football, make big plays downfield. In the old days, we wanted them to block. Now coaches want them to catch the football first.
A gain of 6 there on 1st.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
He's taken down at the 17-yard line. A gain of 2 brings up 2nd and 8.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Fields now to throw. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Robinson. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
2 yards. And it's 3rd down.
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Back to throw, Fields. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And the Bears are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
I think that's a big pickup for a 1st down, because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a 1st down, executed it to perfection. Now they'll give it to the first option. That's their fullback. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal.
And there's the pickup you want on 1st down. All offenses say, you get me 4 on 1st down, we'll take it. How about if you get 5? They'll really be happy.
Montgomery is not going to get in here as they push him back to the 2-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Now Fields on 3rd and goal. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. And that sack brings up 4th and goal. A loss of 7. Big play. Santos' kick is up and through. Well, I don't know if they would have gone for it on 4th and goal anyway, but the sack on 3rd down pretty much made their mind up for them.
You're exactly right about that, and this is a tough place on the field to take a sack because, as you just noted, it took the decision-making away from them. Now they have to go for a field goal instead of potentially going for it.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a 1st down now. They start the drive with Cook. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about where they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the 1st down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
This defense is really floating around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Here comes Grant on the return. 43 yards on the punt, 7-yard return, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And their 2 drives thus far both led to points, albeit both field goals, so the lead just 6-0, but the ability to move the ball is evident.
Well, that's, heartening, as they say, but it's not what they're about. What they're about is putting the ball in the end zone and putting 6s on the board. So if you're the offensive coordinator, you like what you're doing, but you don't love it. You've got to find a way to ring that bell. Then you can have...
And got his man complete. Touchdown, Chicago. Darnell Mooney, 70 yards. And the Bears are able to show off their quick strike ability. And CD, we have seen some great runs the last few times we've been together, but I think we could at least put this one in our top 5. That was a determined gallop there.
Yeah, this is a guy who runs with such balance and control. I mean, he went through that early contact just like he was driving over a speed bump. And he's able to continue his way downfield and wind up in the end zone.
And you can see the distance traveled there after the initial contact of the next-gen stats. Santos with the extra point, and the lead now stands at 13. Well, the offense wasn't out there for a long time, but they were out there for a good time. One play, and they're able to hit pay dirt. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. No run back here. Down. And this drive will start at the 25. Dalvin Cook taking the field for the Vikings' next possession. He's had a good chunk of carries. Problem is for very little success. I don't want to put it all on his shoulders, but that's a big reason they're losing right now.
Have to be very careful that he doesn't start pointing fingers. Offensive line obviously trying. The defense is doing a nice job against him today. When it's all said and done, it's all about the guy in the mirror. He has to get it done better.
See if he can look and do some soul searching now.
Going with a dime look on defense. Two extra defensive backs on the field have covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line.
Let's go, let's bring it. Let's go.
Cousins. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
On 3rd down, Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. On play action, Cousins. And his throw here's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They look lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Now a give running right, it's Cook. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get it down at about the 40. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Watching that play unfold and watching him complete it brought back memories of doing all those pursuit drills to make sure you don't over-pursue and let a guy get a cutback lane on you. He did that very well.
You praised him on tape yesterday for the angles that he takes to the ball. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Off play action, Fields. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
To throw on 2nd and 10, Fields. Broke through some contact, but unable to reach the 40. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. To throw is Fields. Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And the Vikings are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line. That, Charles, the first interception he's thrown here in year number 2.
And I know it's just the first one, but didn't it feel like what we saw from him last year, where he was plagued by this type of a play? And they thought that, you know, over the offseason, going into a second season, some of that would go away. Thus far, still looks a lot like his rookie year.
That catch good for only a couple.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And that will be incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
The Vikings send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be 1st and 10 Bears from deep in their own territory.
Let's go old school there. That's absolutely a great coffin corner punt. Someone's put some time in working on that, hasn't it?
Seems like every year these guys get better and better. It's amazing how they can command that football through the air.
Yeah, they used to actually practice with hula hoops where they place them and try and put them there. Now a lot of guys use barrels on the sidelines to try and put the football in one.
And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get them. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the 1st down on that run. Don't just ask for them. Show them that you're supposed to get the football.
On 1st and 10, here's Fields. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. Now a nice throw here right side. He hauls it in. And he'll be stopped right at midfield. So in the 2nd quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So he got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
He'll take a shot for the end zone. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Similar to a shooter in basketball, just connected on the previous shot. They run another set for him on the next play. Now, we had a guy who made the catch. They tried to get the big one downfield, but came up empty.
From the 50, here's Fields. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Now it's Fields. Over the middle, and that's caught by Kmet. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Again, Fields. And he can't quite bring it in. Might have heard footsteps there across the middle. 2nd down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. Actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Back to the air, Fields on 2nd down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Goodwin. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Now Fields. Goodwin able to haul it in. And he will have the Bears first down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6.
Well, we use the term pitch and catch a lot to denote an easy completion. We just saw one right there on 3rd and 3 to pick up the first down.
Why are those so tough to defend? Just because they hit so quickly?
Yeah, it's all about timing and confidence. Quarterback sees it, rips it, there you go.
Now a throw in the end zone on 1st down, but it winds up incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
To throw again on 2nd down. Fields. That's complete to Mooney. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Again, he'll drop to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. A great effort there. His first NFL reception goes for 6. And the Bears are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. Good throw there, and I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but he looks a lot more comfortable. Second season.
You can tell he put the work in the offseason, and what I mean by that is understanding the playbook. Not just the plays and how to execute them, but how to do it against a variety of defenses. Also understands his team better, what they can and cannot do. You can see the confidence rising in him as he plays.
So time enough for a kickoff here. 5 seconds remaining in this first half. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. Final play of the half. Cousins. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much.
You want the third quarter already? No problem. Let's do it.
It's a new season, so both of these coaching staffs likely making plenty of adjustments after their first half of football. So for the call of the second half here in week 1, we go back to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And taken down just past the 20 at about the 21-yard line. So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. Third quarter starting with a run from Montgomery. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Fields throw there, complete to Mooney.
Complete to Darnell Mooney.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. A play fake, now Fields to throw. Going up top. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
Gets around him, and he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Play action. It's Fields. Deep ball for Goodwin. And that is incomplete. Nearly intercepted. The free safety couldn't quite get his hands around it, and it brings up 3rd down.
When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. And he's got the speedster Goodwin. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run. But the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. First down, here's the run with Montgomery. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Here's Fields. This one swung out to Montgomery. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 13-yard line.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
At the 3-yard line.
Fields. And he's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Credit the sack to Shaquem Griffin.
Enough takes to start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So now here comes the field goal team for the 3rd time today. This will be a 34-yard attempt. And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And that will up the score now. It's 23-zip. So that's 3 field goals for him now, but heck, he's not even halfway to his career best of 7.
Seems like the 7 field goal games are the kind of games I always get assigned to in my other job. Let's hope for this offense's sake they can start cashing in on a few of these drives.
And the decision to bring it out, not a good one, as he's tackled at the 15.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got to just pin their ears back and get after him now.
Play action now. Cousins. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They've got to find a way to bring those 2 elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
He's going to get this one down to Cook. And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a 1st down.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Right there, 54, right there.
On 2nd down, it's Cook again. And fights through one man. Cook with a 1st down and much more. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 50 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that 1st half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
They'll try to throw now. Cousins. Over the middle, and it's incomplete.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to go with the ball initially, so he tried to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Bears. The 20. And they bring this one back. A fumble return for a Bears touchdown. So this defense clicking early in the year. Week 1, the return for a touchdown.
The organization made a concerted effort in the offseason to improve this defense. I have to say they like the early returns.
Santos now to add the PAT. And the lead is now an even 30. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there. Grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. And there will not be a return here. It's a touchback, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. From the 27, Cousins. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield, but they had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. 36 yards on the punt with no return, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here comes Justin Fields and the rest of the Bears offense. He's played well. Good first half. He's continued that here in the 3rd quarter. But my question, when you're a head coach, what do you look at stat line-wise for your coach? Do you go right to turnovers?
You really do. As much as coaches don't want to talk about that, that's where it starts. When I played in college, our first rule for every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. And that's kind of how they judge you. Do you take care of the ball, not turn it over, keep it in the proper hands, and give your team a chance to win?
Well, that's what he's done here in this one so far.
Let's go.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. On 1st down, Montgomery powering his way forward and taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 45 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries. Now, I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Back to throw, Fields. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. It'll go as a loss of about 6, and now it brings up 3rd.
It seemed like he kept going through those progressions, and I thought he might dump that underneath, but he couldn't get rid of the football in time.
And I have to wonder if he was thinking while he was back there, I wish there were a lot less progressions on this play, just someone that I can dump the ball to and get it out of my hands.
So now following the sack, Fields and the Bears looking at 3rd down and long. Open man is Kmet, the tight end.
Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble, and the Vikings pick up the football. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Always costly to cough up that football. These defenders, they become so adept, though, at jarring it free.
Yeah, it's amazing that there aren't more fumbles caused, because now, if you're an offensive player, you go through ball security drills every single day. It's really not out of line to think that you should take the ball to bed with you and just hold on to it. But the bottom line is, no matter how much you try to protect it, these guys are pretty good at finding ways to knock it out.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Here's 2nd and 10. Throwing, Cousins. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 10. Throwing is Cousins. In trouble, and he's taken down. Below Nichols. Able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up 4th down. And you could say that is just another cherry on top for this defense and that entire team. But really, this defense has sparked what's been an impressive effort here in this one.
And I noticed you used the word sparked because you're not seeing that on the other side of the ball, are you? The offense right now, the spark has left their game. And it's been because of what you described, that defensive pressure.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Desperation time. Cousins on 4th down. Lets it fly for Thielen. And this is caught, but they say out of bounds. It would have been a first down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On the handoff, it's Cohen. And he struggles to get a yard here, maybe a yard, down to the 31.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
And his kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. Now they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
And he'll... Decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And after a sluggish start, he's really bounced back. The numbers bear that out.
And you're a baseball guy, partner. How many at-bats over the course of a baseball season?
Oh, boy, 4 in a game.
Yeah, about 4 in a game.
4 times 162.
350 or so, right? Sometimes it takes a while for a guy to get going. That's my point. It's not the first few carries. You don't worry about that. as they go along. Get that guy lathered up, get those blocking assignments down. Those 2-yard gains turn into bigger gains as the game moves along.
A good gain on first has him set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Cousins. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
Trying to get that one to his tight end, and they've been trying to get the ball to him, but as of yet, unable to successfully complete one. But you know, there's usually a nice comfort zone in throwing to the tight end. Great sight lines, usually right in the middle of the field.
Third and short yardage, Cousins. And that is incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Running for it, here's Cook. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. Just enough push up front. He only needed about 6 inches. He didn't get a whole lot more than that.
No, but he made sure he got enough so they didn't have to worry about measuring it or making it even close. Ends up picking up a couple of yards in a situation, as you noted, where he only needed inches.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense, they're just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
I think this one offensively, this is one where you just say, let's move on. Let's not even watch the game tapes from this one.
Yeah, you might just want to throw it in the trash, act like it was never there in the first place.
Yeah, just say we're good. I actually have heard of a coach in the past who took his team out to the practice field and ceremonially buried the game films from the prior game when they got clobbered. That was his way of putting it behind them.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
The 3 straight incompletions, they don't care. That hasn't dissuaded them. They're going to go for it on 4th. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. So that's the second time this game they've given it up on 4th down. They're now 1 for 3 on 4th down conversion tries.
But they must feel good about what they're doing, right? They continue to go for it on 4th down. Give the defense a lot of credit, though. If they've stopped them 2 out of 3 times, usually you have 4th down plays that you have dialed up and ready to go and you think are going to be successful. Not so far in this game.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. And to give this time to the tailback. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
So 3rd down now. They need the 27-yard line for a first. A first throw for the backup Foles. And that will be incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
And no, it doesn't get there. Hits the crossbar, bounces back out. He had it on line, but it comes up about a rotation short. Well, he had that one on target. That's half the battle. The other half of the battle, however, is distance.
And he nearly had that, too. But it was the crossbar that said otherwise, and that'll deny him a shot at 3.
First down. Here's Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. A gain of 6 there on first. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield.
And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Too many zeros on the stat sheet thus far. No touchdown passes, no points for his team, but he remains undaunted. Still attempting to get his team on the scoreboard, firing the ball downfield.
Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Linval Joseph picks up his second sack of the afternoon.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
The Vikings send out their punter as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt. 6 on the return, and we have reached the 2-minute warning.
The Bears offense ready to get going again. And this has been quite a performance to kick off the new year on the road, no less, as they try to finish things off here in the 4th quarter. Foles and the Bears now with a 1st and 10
at their own 17-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Hall. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. Foles.
And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. It'll lead to a 4th down. And Bojorquez on to punt as he gets it away.
Returnable here from the 38.
So a good punt, but a solid 12-yard return.
And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50. 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field.
And whatever promise they showed in the preseason has not translated into week 1 because they have not been particularly competitive here at home, no less. So these fans just kind of beside themselves right now.
Cousins now from the 50. And his throw is incomplete.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
2nd and 10.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. Incomplete.
He was trying to find Justin Jefferson there.
And now it's 3rd down.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
On 3rd down, Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line.
The Bears now ready to take over again.
And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. That one looks like he'll throw here. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. The sack coming from big Dalvin Tomlinson.
He was still looking through his progressions and going through his receiver options, and while he was doing that, the defense got to him quickly in the pocket.
And it was a great example of zone coverage. Well executed, well coordinated. All the receivers were covered, and he couldn't evade the rush back in the pocket.
Now Foles. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down.
A gain of 22 yards. And the Bears first down.
So this one in the win column for the Chicago Bears. And I tell you what, Charles, this might be about as good as it gets. They were incredible.
Yeah, offense was in fine form. The defense threw the shutout at them. I think they worked in concert together. What I like about the offense was they held the ball pretty well. You know, time of possession, exactly what they were looking for in this one. And that helped out their defense. Didn't have to be out there the entire time. So when you do that and you're out there fresh playing, off a little extra spring in your step, and it showed up in this one.
They had a ton of spring in their step. Impressive victory. So for Chicago,